the button and go.
And here we are.
And there we are. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of Jawin with Jack, the most important TTRPG chat show scheduled on Mondays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, hosted by a goblin. It's a very narrow demographic, but it's mine. Tonight, our special guest is none other than Spyder from Crescendo Gaming. Now, those of you who are fans, all 10 million of you, probably saw me on Dunder Moose playing a game of Crescendo with this gentleman, and it was a really interesting session.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't see it, I'm going to take this opportunity and let Crescendo introduce himself. Well, I've been calling you Crescendo for a while, but Spyder, please introduce yourself to the good folks.
Hi, I'm Spyder of Crescendo Games. That's actually my Twitter handle for however long. I am I've been working on this one little particular game for a couple of years now, and now I'm finally ready to talk about it because I feel like I actually have something intelligible to say. And Dunder let me on. I cold contacted him because of Alchemic Raker. He was like, reach out to Dunder. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll let you on the show. I'm like, really? This? Okay. So I've been designing Crescendo for a while. I'm not sure what else to say about myself other than that, but that's kind of, wherever it goes from there, right?
Velma says hi, Spyder.
Hello.
Now, let's rewind a little bit. I'm going to start with my traditional question, which is,
sure.
How did you get started in role-playing games in the first place? Like, when was it? What edition? How old were you? All that kind of stuff. Lay it on me.
Oh, no. No, this is going to be fun. So I started in 3.5. I was 15 years old. Now, I grew up in a hyper-conservative Catholic household.
Okay.
Like, very, 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 very conservative socially. I had to prove to my father that Pokemon didn't mean pocket demons. If anybody remembers that particular era of satanic panic, and if anybody doubts that it was ever real, no, it was real. It really was. It was fun. So my dad wouldn't let me touch any D&D at all, but I really wanted to do it. So I found some people. I'd never met these people before, so just keep this in mind. This is me just walking in, right?
Right.
It is a bunch of theistic Satanists.
The worst kind of Satanists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that there's a good kind, but the worst kind of Satanists are the... So wait a minute. You'll forgive me, I have to interject. So on the one hand, we have the Levian Satanists, who are the guys who, oh no, it's just a LARP and we don't actually believe in anything.
Right.
Even worse are the theistic ones who say, no, Satan is real and I choose to serve him.
I walked into a full 6-person session game with theistic Satanists.
What was that like?
Awful. It was terrible.
Dude, did you leave that night going, wow, Dad was right? Oh my God, I hate admitting Dad was
actually,
right.
I walked out even more dug in because I had borrowed the books from the library because our library had the 3.0 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I had read the books. I mean, I did my homework because my dad was someone who had his opinions, but if you dropped enough facts on him, he eventually changed what he thought. So I looked through. I made sure, I was like, okay, well, none of this looks even remotely Satanist.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I walked out going, this isn't right. None of this looked like something. It didn't jive with the text, which is a funny thing we'll come back to later, because later on I become very, very, very I become very critical of the difference between reading a role-playing game and playing one. But even from there, it's this isn't right. This just isn't. So after going to a couple of other tables, and it wasn't much better. Most of the people that I was finding at the time were very like edgelordy, you know, very like
That was a distinct phase in for the last, I don't know, 50
yeah,
years, take a decade. I don't know. It
yeah,
feels that way
but
sometimes.
like, like, oh, we're gonna be like, it wasn't like the theistic Satanists who, to quote, like anybody who said that they were using the game to explore. Can't believe I have to say this out loud again. It's been years. The virtues of being evil. Actual
Ah,
actual words out of their mouth. I can't make it up. I just can't make it up. Um, I wish I could, but just nope. Um, it wasn't that bad, but it's still a bunch of teenagers who are like, ha, 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 we get to go lift up skirts and be
yeah.
it's all that, and I just wasn't. I didn't really know what I wanted, but I knew it wasn't that, and so I was like, yeah. So I just started running my own game.
Just out of the blue. So you played in one game, saw how it was done, and said, "That's it. I'm running my own game from now on."
Yep. I found a couple of other people that had never played D&D before, but I knew them. Okay, we played a session. It was crazy. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a ball doing it. I threw everything at the wall. Most of the things I threw at the wall stuck, and I had no idea why, and it was fantastic. And that was it. I was hooked.
So just hooked from that moment on. Wow.
Hooked from that moment on.
So,
and I was a terrible DM. I was terrible. It was awful.
Really?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, we all are when we start, but like, how did you? But you were aware that you were terrible at the time, or is that looking back on it now?
My players had to get very, very vocal with how bloodthirsty I was.
Oh.
They had to. It was not, oh, he's being a jerk. It's, Nathan, you just DPK'd someone at someone's birthday party. Like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? I'm like, that was great. Let's do it again. They're like, no. Turn that way down. Turn that way down.
Yeah.
So I was awful. I was really awful, but I was the only thing they had.
Where did you? Now, even in 3.5, though, that was not a common mentality. Where did you learn to be such a tough DM? Even like 3.5 is plenty tough, but there's plenty of room for survival in that. You still end up being pretty tough. How did you even TPK somebody, a group in 3.5?
How did I do it?
Yeah.
I cheated. I didn't actually cheat, but like, so what I figured out, they had
You're right, Mo. It's a sign of evil. I mean, good dungeon mastering, but pure evil and mean.
So they had gotten they had made friends with some Pegasi or Pegasuses or whatever. Pegasi, I think.
We'll go with Pegasi.
Sure. I dropped a hurricane on them while they were riding the Pegasi.
Why? Did that just occur to you in the moment?
It just occurred to me. It occurred to me in the moment. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I wanted to see if they'd pass. They didn't. They fell 300. Like, they were actually up a good ways. So they do max fall damage. Bam! Hit the ground. And there were people waiting.
Wait, there were people waiting for them to fall?
I cheated. Like, I mean, this is cheating. Like, this isn't like, this is one of those things where it's like, how did they get there? And it's like, that's how they got there. I don't know. This is how they did it.
Those are just legitimate dick moves as far as DMing.
Right. Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, it really was. I mean, I was proud because I had accomplished my objective, which was murdering them all. But I did it on my friend's birthday.
Probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah. That's a hat trick of dickery.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it that way now. But like, no, there was always like, some like, there was always some edge to what I was doing. terrible, but
Okay, so what I'm hearing though is you deserved everything I did to you during that crescendo
Oh
session.
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
absolutely.
good. Yeah, yeah. You
Oh
seem to
man,
take it
no,
in stride. You seem to
no.
take it in stride.
If anything, I got worse. I just got better at being worse. Like I, because everyone's like, that was unfair. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, wasn't it
okay,
great?
right. I'm that guy. At one point, I got one of my coworkers and I had lightsabers.
Uh,
It'd
Dan,
probably be better now, man. It'd
hey,
probably be better
it's
now.
fine to have him at the party, Dan. Just don't let him dungeon master.
Hi. I was for Moritz. I think I was 16.
Yep, that is my buddy Mo. We play
Yeah, yeah.
Mothership together from time to time.
Excellent game. Excellent
Yeah,
game.
very true.
Really, really
That
good.
was actually the thing I was going to follow up on. So how long were you in the D&D ecosystem, and how long did it take you to branch out into other genres?
So I was one of the 4th edition early adopters because, and this is actually kind of funny because one of the things that I actually got burned really hard on 3.5, like really, really, really hard.
Well, explain that to me, actually.
So, this is all my brother-in-law's fault. At the time, we weren't related by marriage, right? But it's my now brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of those people. If you hand him a book, any book, he has it absorbed in about an hour or two.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys. Like I know I have a pretty high reading comprehension. I don't have what this guy does. Like I just don't. So he sits down, reads the 3.5 Dungeon Master's Guide from cover to cover in a day. Anyone? Wow. I mean, I had an enormous love. I still have an enormous love for the D&D setting Eberron. Eberron is my campaign. Like if I run in D&D, I'm probably going to do Eberron.
Okay.
So that meant that Artificer was available. I did not check the Artificer very well.
Yeah, I have not dealt with artificers myself, so.
So you know how when you make a magic item in 3.5, you have to give up XP. You have to put XP into the item.
Sure.
Artificers lower the amount of XP you have to put in, and if there's 2 artificers working on the same item, it stacks. I was not tracking this, and so my brother-in-law and another friend of mine both made artificers, and then they started to craft magical items. They'd have me go through the flow sheet. I will not say that I checked them very thoroughly. I probably should have, but one of those things, how the heck are you supposed to know, sort of a deal. And they made the is swearing allowed on your show because it's kind of okay.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. So they made the regalia of fuck Nathan. There were the boots of fuck Nathan, the girdle of fuck Nathan, the gauntlets of fuck Nathan, the bracers of fuck Nathan. The boots were actually called the motherfucking boots, and they would shout, "Do you see these motherfucking boots?" when they would, they actually put Iron Man shit into the bottom of the boots so they could stomp on people. And it got wild, right? Now this was my first time ever running into this, right? Ever.
Yeah.
But it got bad. And finally, by the end of it, I was just burnt out on it because it's just, no matter how smart you are as a GM, if you have 2 players who stay up till 5 in the morning, literally 5 in the morning, crunching all of the numbers on 3.5, no, you're not going to outthink them. I'm sorry. Or at least I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been in that situation before too.
It's not fun.
Yeah. Well,
it's just not fun.
It's fun
granted, I
in
deserved it.
other ways if you make it fun at their expense, but that
Right.
that usually ends up with a good amount of butt hurt going around
Oh
because
yeah.
they think because then it's you're not cheating, you're not obeying the rules and
Right,
stuff
right.
like
Now,
that.
15-year-old me wouldn't have had this problem, but I was 19 and I had learned a little bit of fair play and was like, okay, this, like, I used to do crap like this, but I don't do this. Like, I've learned not to do this anymore. This isn't fun.
Look, I'm trying to get better here.
Right, right. And you guys aren't helping. So as soon as fourth edition came, I started playing it. And then it can be a thing people pay for. That is
Revenue
something I need
stream.
to think about.
I mean,
Thank you, movie guy.
there are
Thank
people
you.
who pay to be pooped on.
That's true, but like
True, but gross. I know,
yeah,
but still,
yeah,
the fact that it exists means it seems a lot more realistic to get somebody to pay me to kill their character.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. So fourth edition drops, I go over to it immediately. I love fourth edition. I think it's a great game. Have a great time with it. You
Agreed. I
get it.
think it's a perfectly worthwhile game.
Yeah, I mean, like I know people have their issues with it. I found that as soon as I grokked the system, I could do anything I wanted to, pretty much. Almost anything. Like just the sheer amount of stuff that you could do with fourth edition's encounter generator. It's not close. It wasn't just that it wasn't just that it was quick. It was that once you figured out how to use it, you could very reliably gauge what you were throwing at people.
That's
Very reliable.
interesting. So I've only
Very.
played fourth edition solo, and I found the XP budgets that they presented to be, pretty good match for a solo adventure or a single
I'm
character,
sure, yeah.
right? And I
Right.
wondered
Oh, yeah.
how it would work on a party level.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard that about fourth edition. You're the first person. Like I've heard many people say it's good edition and all that, but that its tools, once you really get familiar with them, are actually really good and easy to use. I remember,
fantastic.
I do remember people talking about the random dungeon generator in fourth edition being really good, particularly.
It was okay.
I think if you particularly want that, 5-foot space to move figures on. So.
Oh, yeah, no, it definitely worked. I never really used it. I never really saw a need. What I found was that because again, we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning and start drawing the thread, because I wanted to, if I wanted to go and actually throw something at people and like legitimately push them all the way up to the edge and maybe take a few people out, I wanted to know how it worked. I wanted to understand it. I wanted to know how to do it. 3.5 did not offer these tools, and anybody who says that it does, no, it didn't. You're lying. You're lying. Saga Edition for Star Wars got closer, but fourth got it perfect. Like I could go, oh, this encounter budget, I can do this and this and this, and this will probably kill one person. Okay, I'm going to dial it down just a little bit, and then we'll see how it goes. 95% of the time, I was right.
Got it.
Which was great. I mean,
have you seen the newest D&D books? Because they have a similar XP budget breakdown in those. If you haven't, I understand.
I can't get past the not AI art.
Oh, totally not AI art. Yes.
Totally not AI.
Totally. Well, and I've had arguments with previous guests about the quality of the art in the books, and agreed.
I hate the pinks and the blues. I hate them. It's like there's if you go into my Discord and if you dig through the other RPGs section, there's a thread where I shit all over 5.5's art. I just take it apart. I hate it. I hate every piece in it. So no, I haven't. I looked at it long enough to feel like the blood boiling in the back of my head and to realize that I really, really, really hate this, and just put it down. It's like I can't physically hold this book. It's revolting. Yeah.
Well,
But so if okay, I'm lying, but if you know a better way to make a the fourth edition encounter budget. Um, so what happened was that I wanted to start. Sorry, I'm trying to think about exactly when this happened. Dungeon Master's Guide 2 dropped, which
Okay.
is a I read it. It's essentially a book on making fourth edition kind of a light story game, kind of, sort
Okay.
of. And I loved every last thing they put in it.
Really?
I loved it. I loved it a lot. And yes, totally lifeless art. Fourth's wasn't much better, by the way. It just clearly wasn't AI.
That is true. I did not particularly care for the art in fourth. A
No.
little
Oh
bit
god.
too anime influenced for me. You saw that starting in 3 and 3.5, but not quite so bad.
Which I agree with. Like fourth for me was what happened at the table. It wasn't the books. The books were a mess.
Yes.
The books were absolutely a mess, and I don't think anyone should find issue with that. So Dungeon Master's Guide 2 drops. I read this thing. I think it's great. I have all because, I'm wanting to do I'm wanting to do stuff with stories in it. So I had learned not to railroad. I was like, okay, that's not a story. I want something where stories happen because you play.
Mm-hmm.
I had worked this out. I'd kind of worked through what I wanted to do, and one of my best friends at the time was kind of criticizing literally everything I was trying to do with fourth edition, going, "It doesn't work. What we're trying to do, it doesn't do this." I'm going, blah, 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 blah. The thing that broke me was that I pitched a lot of the ideas from DMG2 to my players, and nobody cared.
Wow.
It broke me. Totally broke me. Just shattered me. I was heartbroken.
So was it like they understood and didn't care, or they just didn't even get what it was supposed to be about, do you think?
Oh, they understood, they just didn't care. It was, why would I do that with this game? Why would I do these things?
Wow. So what were some of the mechanisms? Because I passed on that book. I never DMG
Oh yeah.
two.
Oh yeah. No. They had ideas on how to build relationships between players. They had role playing incentives. They weren't very well developed, but they worked. So crude, but effective. They had ideas on how to ad lib better. They had ideas on how to reach out to different people at the table better. Like, this was actually a pretty decently written, like, this is actually a rather well written book. And so, like, there were a couple of things about, trying to remember all of it right now. It was a lot. But anyway, so I had these things, and I was like, well, let's go do this. And everyone's like, well, okay. And of course, nothing kills you. Nothing kills your enthusiasm for running a game faster than everybody just shrugging. And that's what they did. They shrugged. And these were my friends. Like this wasn't them being like mean or, nothing like that at all. Nothing. It was just, no, I'm pretty good with what we're doing. And I wasn't. I wanted to push more. I wanted to get more into mechanics that were helping tell stories. Like, I didn't have the verbiage for this, right? Like, I mean, I'm just sitting in a whole stew of undeveloped ideas. And then someone dropped Burning Wheel on my head, and that was it.
Now this is one of those games I don't have in the collection, and I'm gonna have to have a copy in my collection, even though I know I'm never going to play this baby.
It is such a bitch of a book to read.
Yes, yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm a fan of Trevor Duvall, and he has said similar things. It's like
it's a bitch of a book.
It's the worst game I love, kind of.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I think the book is very, very I think the things that it doesn't do well, it does really horribly, and the things that it does well, literally no other game can do at all.
Oh.
There's no
Oh.
to the point, because the seed this for later. But if you put Crescendo and Burning Wheel side by side, because Crescendo is very, very heavily influenced by Burning Wheel, you could play them both in the same week, and they'd be completely different games. Like, I did not try to do what Burning Wheel did. I made every effort to not copy it.
Okay.
Whilst taking some of its ideas and doing my own thing with them. So, like, Burning Wheel is a unique game, and once you understand what it's going for, there's nothing else like it. There just isn't.
Oh.
It's
what is
totally
that
unique game.
core? What is that core experience? How do you describe it? What does it deliver that no other game can do?
Oh God. Oh God.
We
So
ask the tough questions here at Jawin with Jack.
that actually is a tough question. So I think it's two things. If you want my opinion, I'm sure if Luke Crane ever watches your incredible show, because I do think he's part goblin. He'll probably disagree with me, but I do think Luke Crane is part goblin.
Okay.
If not bugbear, I could see him being a bugbear. Anyway, so the whole thing of following beliefs and getting rewarded for acting on them, and that being very player driven. But in the back half of the book are all of these Byzantine, overcomplicated, beautiful sets of mechanics. They are really, really hard to understand at first. Once you get it and once you start running them, they start generating consequences that are just not. So, for instance, in a fight, which they have a fight mechanic, one of the fights that we were in, a player won by they're standing up, right? Stand up, they're looking at each other, they've got swords. One of the guys swung, hit the other guy, hit the armor bounces it off, and he takes one look at me while he's playing. He says, "Fuck this!" Drops the sword, drops it. So he's wearing plate mail. He's dropped his bastard sword. Pulls out a dagger because he timed it. Because the way that Burning Wheel's mechanics works, he knew he wouldn't get hit. He had timed it just right, where the other guy wasn't swinging when he was drawing the dagger. Jumped on the guy with the dagger, wrestled him to the ground, got him in a headlock, right inside the visor.
Wow. Okay. So that is definitely awesome. That is definitely not something that emerges naturally out of D&D by any stretch of the imagination.
It definitely was. And then on top of it, as if that's not enough, they have an argument mechanic called the Duel of Wits, which other people have tried to copy, and they can't. People try to copy this mechanic, and it's like, no, you're not getting what makes this thing work. So it's simultaneous initiative. So you blind pick 3 actions, and then you play rock, paper, scissors with them.
Okay.
There's a lot of actions, and they all have very, 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 very niche things. Nice. So the argument mechanic sets up for very, very, very organic situations where people will back themselves into corners. It doesn't look like an argument until you're about 3 or 4 actions in and you realize that everyone's just arguing. And you can see as people are getting whittled away, and you can see it's eerie. It's eerie how it works. It's once you get it, nothing like it. However, you have to put in a ton of work to understand the book. The mechanics are very fiddly. The game is very difficult to hack. And if you do not play,
Rule Zero friendly, I'm hearing.
Not even close. One of his primary one of his primary inspirations for the game is
Mhm.
AD&D.
Right.
Like just outright. Like he's just like, nope, AD, like that's right there. So not rule zero friendly at all. To the
Absolutely.
point to where, at least when I was still in it, the Burning Wheel culture, play culture, and what he wanted for the game were actually divergent things.
So the way it manifested itself in play is not at all what he envisioned.
No, people would take the game and find ways to file off a couple of the edges. That way they didn't have to use some of the mechanics because they didn't want to use them. I'm one of the people that was like, give me the whole thing. Let's go. Drop it all on me. Let's go. I
Right,
got
right.
this. And everyone's like, why the hell would you do that? I'm like, why wouldn't you do it? Like,
Well, see, there's the thing, again, I was part of that camp back in the day with AD&D where we just, the second it became like homework, we just tossed it aside. And that's too much work. We're not going to more. And it's not that we even, in most of the rules, it's not that we couldn't understand them. It was that it was not worth the effort to understand them.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that that is the bane of complex games. The more complex the game is, the less you can fiddle with it without breaking a multitude of things.
Oh, yeah.
And the harder it is to get buy-in from people who want to read and learn all those rules,
Right.
I haven't played with people that rules heavy in at least 30 years, if not more.
Jeez. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Well, a handful here
Sure.
and there. I usually have one or two a group, but I'm
not
much
all
more
of
of a rules light story gamer myself these days.
Sure.
Even though I'm enjoying my AD&D campaign.
Oh, absolutely.
Yang, good evening, sir.
Hello, Yang.
You would make an excellent guest for Yang. Just saying, Yang.
Yang,
You'd be an excellent guest.
Me. I don't know you, but you can contact me. That's fine.
Oh yeah, Yang is great. You'll enjoy him a lot. He's an artist and designer himself. He's got his own YouTube channel and stuff like that, and he does his own streams. But yeah, it's a similar thing. He's got a Kickstarter going on right now where he's releasing Empire of the Dying Sun. It's a module / game. Is it more correct to say campaign setting, Yang? But he's releasing 2 versions of it, one in 5th edition and one in 1st edition.
I know. Okay, I know this guy.
Yeah, yes, you do know this guy.
A friend of mine who backs literally everything to back his stuff. I don't know if I succeeded. I tried, Yang. I tried. I didn't have the money at the time. Sorry. That comes up a lot.
That's okay. It'll always be for sale later.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, yep, nope. I remember that. I remember like that looks really cool. You throw money at literally everything. Throw money at this. And I never heard back. So whatever. That's
right
what.
On. Right on.
So yeah, so from Burning Wheel, I kind of went and tried a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of stuff. Read a lot. I've forgotten most of what I've read because that's just how that works.
Yeah. Hey, if it was really important, you would remember it.
Right. Unfortunately. No,
what was I saying?
Simply cannot handle. Movie John's decided that he's going to correct our grammar.
No. He made an error in a previous one.
Oh, I see.
He says, I simply cannot handle. He means it simply cannot handle. But D&D 5e and beyond is 2/3 done. Jenga tower about ready to topple. It simply cannot handle emergent play where players are backed into a corner in fun and interesting ways. 5e seems actually to be anti-corner. Like it's hard to back.
Oh yeah.
One of the classics is, hey, you're running out of food. Hey, you can't get back to town in time. Hey, there's a ton of random encounters and your resources are running low, or you're out of spells. With those kind of
no problem, Yang. I'll talk to you at some point if you'll have me. Just saying.
We'll be in touch. I really do feel that the never mind. I forgot completely what I was saying. Crescendo.
It's okay,
Tell me
Goblin.
about Burning Wheel.
Okay.
So where did that take you? How did you get people to play that in the first place?
Well, the good news is that Burning Wheel only needs one other player. You can it does duo really, 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 really well.
Okay.
And you can get a really good session of Burning Wheel if you cut the extra stuff that I love very, very, very much out. If you cut that out, hour and a half.
Okay.
Hour and a half. So, I would put the kids to bed, get on with somebody, play Burning Wheel. I do that 2 or 3 times a week. I did that for years. Just years. I've run that game a lot more than I think I can actually remember at this point. Cool. I'm on Twitter. I don't did
I'll
Jack,
make introductions. I'll
please,
make introductions.
absolutely.
And Yang will be able to follow
Talk
you
to
from.
anybody.
He probably saw the tweet and will message you directly.
I
And
appreciate that. Thank you very much, Yang. Appreciate you.
so years of running Burning Wheel that way, mostly duo, though, that sounds like it really did shape your taste for this kind of narrative gaming.
It did. I mean, I was playing with friends, and I wasn't playing with acquaintances. I was playing with people I knew for a long, one of the people that I was playing with, I'd known since high school. So I mean, we knew each other, and we could kind of push back. Like it wasn't like, oh, I want to. It's like, no, I'm going to go do X, and the other person looks and goes, you know what psychological baggage that is, you motherfucker. And you go, let's go. Come on, let's do this. And we did that. I mean, I had two or three friends who I could really, really, really get into the weeds with, and we did. We really, really, really did, to a really, really, really dark degree. One of the people that I was playing with, she basically told me, I don't think you can go that dark. And I said, oh,
Challenge
okay.
accepted.
Yeah, it got dark. And what I found doing that kind of game was that I made really good friendships out of it, because it was only one person. So there's no shield. There's no, if something's wrong, they know something is wrong. They're like,
Right.
You didn't like that. I'm like, no, I really didn't. Or, you you actually had to talk to people, which I really enjoyed.
It's a lot easier to drop your guard too when it's just one-on-one. Heck, that's why I do the show the way I do. Is like I prefer the one-on-one conversation. It's easier to have a back and forth and to give you a take.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a really good format, and Burning Wheel does it really well. And so I did it for years, just years. We did all sorts of stuff. It was amazing. I was running at least twice a week for a very, very long time. And then a couple of things happened at work, and I got my leg, really heavy shit went down.
Okay.
And I found that I all of a sudden couldn't do it anymore.
Really? So life got to such a degree that it burned out your creative circuitry?
It burned out my ability temporarily to be that intense. I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh.
Couldn't do it. Because some really, on a scale of 1 to 10, for one being minor inconvenience to thousands of people are dying, we're at the 10. Actually really, really, really serious shit went down. And I couldn't. I just kind of checked out for a little while. I couldn't do it. It was very, very, very difficult. And it was very difficult because I'd learned to not so much use Burning Wheel to trauma dump, but it was a part of a conversation about, it was how I talked to my friends. You know, if there were things that I could not figure out how to talk about with people, that's cool. I'll just make an NPC.
I do get that.
Yeah.
There's ways where vehicle games can be a vehicle for you figuring out things in the back of your mind,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and even stuff not even like, well, what happened to me last week, I'm working out in this week, this
The
week's
problem with
session. No,
even
it's stuff like, stuff from my childhood has shaped the kind of characters that I play. And I go,
right. Yeah.
oh, after a while, things come up. I
Oh yeah.
understand. So when you hit that wall, when you hit that level of burnout, what did you do about it? Did you just drop it for a while? Did you sever all the? Did you burn the books? Did you?
Oh, I still have my. Can I get up? I'll show you.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry about the bins, but I'll show you something.
No, don't get up.
I made this. It's still sitting on my desk. So on the top, that's a quote from The Wizard of Earthsea.
And the two voices were the same. Wow.
From the end of Wizard of Earthsea, if you know, you know. And then on the inside.
There we go. Well, I'm back. Wow.
So I still have that. So no, I haven't. That's when I started designing Crescendo. Actually. That's actually where Crescendo comes up. Sort of.
Okay.
I just finished reading Gene Wolfe's Solar Cycle, like the whole thing. Which broke me in half as a person. Just to be completely honest about what it did. It was eerie. It was really, really eerie.
Why? So I know nothing about Gene Wolfe.
Okay, so
expose me. Not like that. Keep your clothes on.
Well, I mean,
well, no. Wait a minute. Let's see. If it's going to bring in views, we should at least consider it.
I'm not that ripped, man. Sorry, it won't do it. It won't do it. You'll
lose. There's people that like the soft stuff.
So, as usual, I to the removal of clothes or to talking about Crescendo?
I'm sure both.
Sure, both. Well, when it comes to Gene Wolfe, it's not that far off.
Okay.
Very nice. Shirtless Jack. So this is kind of a weird, like, this is a decidedly heavier part of the story. So come 2020, 2021, I'm having a bunch of childhood PTSD bullshit that's been going on for years, actual years. It's been going on for a long time, and I'm having a really hard time with it. We're not going to get into what it was. It's just, it was bad. And so finally I go, and I don't even remember how I found the books. I think it was just a random search on Amazon.
Okay.
Gene Wolfe just died in 2019. He is an author who says that his idea of a well-written book is a book that it requires at least an adequate education. Gene Wolfe's idea of an adequate education is not your idea of an adequate education, I assure you. It wasn't mine. Because he's like, adequate education. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty smart. No. That was not what he meant. He does not mean adequate education. So the first book, Book of the New Sun, the pitch is simple. A torturer goes on to become the guy who saves the world.
Okay. Unusual? Yes. Unusual. Yes. It would certainly, that's certainly a good hook.
It is. It's a fantastic hook. It's also one of the few books I've ever read where I had no idea what was going on through the whole thing, and I loved every page.
Wow. That's wild.
For anyone who is watching who is having trouble parsing that book, it's a sandbox. It's a sandbox.
One day I'm gonna read that book, and that will make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, but like you know when you're running sandbox,
Yeah.
a sandbox campaign like that.
Oh,
He
okay.
makes sandboxes. He's a sandbox writer. He just makes these huge, vast worlds that are actually very, very dense. And this drops a character in it, and they just start going. And then you're like, but he doesn't tell you anything about like people are just running into things.
You
And
get no exposition and
because they
data
don't.
dumps. There's so
Because they don't.
I
You just run into things. It wasn't until I've read Book of the New Sun 4 times since 2020. And on the third time, I realized that like 90% of the plot hooks were coming from one guy. 90% of the plot hooks were from one character. And it wasn't until the third read through I went, wait, there's a narrative arc going on here. Holy crap. Like there's this whole it's incredible. You just keep going through and going through and going through. Yes it will. Don't you lie. RW, it does make sense. I'm telling you, 90% of the things you run into in Book of the New Sun come from one character. Just one. They never tell you who it is, but once you put it together, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Anyway, so
wow.
I
Okay.
read this. Sorry, I read. So there's Book of the New Sun, Orth of the New Sun, which is sort of like a sequel. Yes, very, very, very Catholic, sir. So Book of the New Sun and Orth of the New Sun are about Severian the Torturer. And Long Sun and Short Sun, the back half, are about a priest named Silk.
Okay.
Book of the Short Sun broke me as a person. I don't know how else to put it. It's just it just one of those books you read it and like I don't know if it did it for anyone else, but you know, just
I'm
one of those.
familiar with the experience where a book really does truly change you as a person.
Oh,
and yeah, it's
And-
so I can appreciate what that's like.
And like I'm getting to the end of Short Sun, and it's one of the most dreadful reads I've ever done because like I had decided I was going to go reread it, right? I was going to go reread the whole thing, and I found that I was dreading it. I was dreading finishing it because it meant I could never do it for the first time ever again. So I'm like crawling through the end of this book. And Gene Wolfe is not the kind of writer who like makes the endings of his plots obvious.
Okay.
It's not like there's one book that he wrote that up until the literally like the last page you're trying to figure out what the book is about, and then he goes, by the way, this is a book about marriage. You go, what? Since when was it about marriage? What? But then you think through it, you're like, oh, I hate you. Like, you snuck that right on, like, that's the kind of writer he is. So I'm coming up right to the end of Short Sun. I don't see the end in sight. I have no idea why there's 5 pages left in the book. That's it.
And it just is done.
He kills it. And you're like, wait, actually, that makes sense. I've been sitting here for 1,200 pages wondering where this is going to... Yep, okay.
Where it's going to end, and then there you have it.
And then he ends it, and it's the only place he can end. And so this all happened at about all the same time. It all just sort of clicked together. And I realized I couldn't leave that feeling of not knowing and of having this really intricate, complex, these really intricate and complex characters and world playing at each other. I couldn't leave it behind. And Burning Wheel kind of does that, but it didn't do it like this. So I just said, fuck it.
And that's where That was the genesis of the idea.
Yeah.
How did it develop from there? So this was around 2019, you said, or
This was around late 2020.
Okay, got it.
This is late 2020. So I knew that I wanted to use Burning Wheel as a base. I wanted to have beliefs. I wanted to, like, it's so psychological. Like, Wolf is so, we're getting to that. We're getting to that more. We're getting there. So to sum up what Crescendo is a psychological, mythological role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
It's primarily narrative-based. It's primarily fiction first. And it uses a journal in its mechanics to generate plot twists.
Mm-hmm.
There are dice, but the dice are not, they're not what they look like. Can everyone just ignore that? I keep seeing it and it bothers me. Just pretend you don't see it, because I'm going to.
I don't see a thing. I have no idea what you're talking about. There's nothing back there at all.
There's nothing back there at all.
There's
It's bothering the crap out of me. So what I did, I knew that I had the psychological core because of Burning Wheel. Like, I played a shit ton of Burning Wheel, and I knew how to make it work, and I knew why it worked. Because again, I've been playing 2 or 3 sessions a week for years. Like, I knew the game. I knew what made it work, and I knew what I didn't like about it.
What didn't you like about it?
The reward system breaks if it's not used exactly the way they want you to use it. You have to use it.
So you're saying it broke for you?
I'm saying that it could break, and that I took great pains to not let it break, and eventually I just got annoyed that I couldn't, that I had to put all this work into making sure it didn't break.
Okay.
Essentially, without getting...
Okay. I can get that. It's
it's just too much.
The consequences of not doing that maintenance were worse than letting it go.
Yeah, it got bad.
By rewards, is this XP, that kind of rewards, or is it more temporal material rewards for the character?
Meta currency. So in this case, fate points and persona. So it's a dice pool game. Burning Wheel is a dice pool game. You're rolling for 4, 5s, and 6s most of the time. Fate points let you roll 6s. Persona lets you add dice.
Okay.
What do you think spends more quickly in a game like that?
The one that rolls 6s.
No.
Really? Adding more dice does.
The persona. The thing that gives you more dice. Oh yeah, people dump it. People dump it quick. They go, oh, I need that. I need that. Give me that. There were too many rewards that gave fate that re-roll the 6s than what add dice.
Oh, okay.
And
so wait, 6 is bad, and one lets you re-roll it.
One of them lets you add another dice if you roll a 6, but another one just lets you add a dice. Whole cloth. You just get a dice for spending the point. So
well, if
just spam it.
If you had explained it better, I would have picked the right one.
Well, I'm sorry.
Look. I need to retroactively defend my decision making.
But so I had my criticisms, and I'm still getting there, Moritz. I'm sorry. It's just sitting up there. It's gonna bother the shit out of me.
I'll put it here so it'll bother you less.
Oh, why? Thank you, man. What an upstanding.
No pressure. Whenever you get around to it, Spyder. It's whenever.
So. Oh, okay. All right. Let's do this.
That's fine. I'm sorry, as you were saying, my good man.
So, part of it then began. So, keep in mind that up until this point, I was a terrible designer. I'm getting there, Movie John. I'm getting there. Dear fucking God. So, so I sit down. I basically rework Burning Wheel. That's essentially what I did. I reworked Burning Wheel. I had the hit the books mechanics. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, if you're hit the books, you have your journal. You open to a random thing, put your finger down, read whatever it is. The GM goes and makes a random plot twist out of it.
Yep, that's what I remember.
Yep, exactly. So we can actually probably just do it right now. Here, grab a book. Grab a book. Come on, let's do it. I'll show it because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, it's too abstract." Here.
What kind of book do I need? Anything special?
Just something. I mean,
okay.
I've got Dark Sun.
All right, I'm ready. I grabbed Hunter the Reckoning.
Let's do it. All right, so got my book. Open up, close eyes. Boop. I got a 10-yard by 10-yard square per level of the caster. Cool. Spells, blowing shit up. Cool. What you got?
While Purple himself never exhibited any obvious supernatural powers, he never conjured demons or fired lightning from his fingertips, he was a most peculiar and extraordinary individual.
Okay. You know what? Since I'm running it now, if I was running it, you could do it with the telephone book, but it would be difficult. So if I was running this, to anybody who's listening, you're just going off your gut. You just go off of whatever sounds great. Out of all of that, be like, okay, a 10-foot demon just materializes into the room.
Okay.
You've got right. It's just that simple. It's just, oh, I hear 10 foot by 10 foot. That sounds kind of big. Oh, demon. Yeah, cool. Let's do it. That's it. That's all the mechanic is. This leads to some interesting things. This has some interesting knock-on effects because everybody is curating their own journal. So everybody hits the books like we just did. The GM comes up, or I call him the Weaver. The Weaver comes up with the plot twist, and everybody writes their interpretation of the event back down into their own journal. This has some. So this does.
I still have some of mine from our session.
That's awesome.
I remember the first one I wrote was the I witnessed Sir Amy Davis get stabbed in the neck in what I assume is appropriate courtly behavior.
Good old
Newsflash.
Lord,
it was not appropriate. He was being assassinated. I just didn't know any better.
Right. That's what having a warlord running around does.
Now, to point something out, though, the reason I did that too was to point out that everyone writes their own version of what just transpired on their sheet, and it doesn't have to be truthful or accurate.
No, it doesn't. It just has to kind of touch the truth a little bit, sort of. It has to be somewhat factual. It has to kind of reference. This one mechanic has more depth in it than I could ever begin to tell anybody.
Why is that, do you think?
So part of it is that it's a very intuitive mechanic. It's not I call it qualitative versus a quantitative thing. So, intuition
adjectives instead of numbers.
Right. And so because of that, whatever you can think of is just naturally something you can write down. And this means that people, modern politics, yes, exactly. Or a Gene Wolfe book.
No, it's not modern politics mode because this actually works.
Yes. But you can start programming the journals, and you can start figuring out what your Weaver responds to. I've had people write things into the journals that they know will piss me off. They will go, all right, time to troll.
And, just for the sake of argument, what are some of those things?
Oh, funny you should ask. I've got a player who made fun of me for accidentally putting kernels into a medieval setting. He's like, that's not how that works. You fucked up. And so he just finds ways to say kernel in everything. He'll just put it in. It's just this little thing where he does it. I'm just like, fuck you, you motherfucking piece of shit. And he's just like, I did it.
You know,
I did it. He's just
that's
so
one of
happy
those
with
things too. I mean, it's
himself. Just
like
so happy with himself.
you want to fight against it, but there's a kernel of truth to it.
And like he's like going in and like doing like, there was one player who ran into the serpent in the middle of the game. You were playing with him, Cal.
Oh, yes.
He started putting the serpent into every bullet point he wrote for weeks. He programmed, like, he'd be like, I saw this sunset. I wonder what the serpent would think of it. Literally, this is what he would like. He would just be like, what the hell? We haven't seen the serpent in months. And he's like, I know, but I wonder.
But I still wonder.
And sure enough, it started showing up because he put like whole pages of just the serpent into it. I ignored the Colonel joke, but I can't do that one.
Yes, yes, no problem. I understand the Pun King does that to most of us at one point or another. Yes, he does.
He breaks us all.
He's the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. And I don't mean fat and stupid. I mean, he's a good sidekick.
So this is the big thing that Crescendo does on its own. This is its. I don't know of any other game that does this.
So
yes.
Now I don't know how much has changed. I haven't kept up with things, but I wanted to highlight that when I played with you, this list of bullet points, that was my starting character sheet.
Yep.
So
yes.
But how do I know how strong I am? How do I know how many times I can get hit before I go down and go boom?
Oh yeah, you actually do have a character sheet. You actually do have HP. But most of what you know about your characters in the backstory that you wrote, for the most part. Yeah, let's see what movie got. My movie guy's wanting another example. In an example, hitting the books is more straightforward and basic versus the chaotic goblin method of journal entries. Everybody goes chaotic goblin at some point. I'm sorry. Everybody eventually figures out that they can do it. A lot of
video evidence of you going goblin.
But like a more straightforward one, if we were doing the he's extraordinary and then we got the 10 foot by 10 foot square. What was that? What was the ending point of that? That he was just an extraordinary being or whatever?
Yes, a very extraordinary being.
I mean, I'd probably change it to where like someone within the next 10 feet just starts doing something random and weird because there's an extraordinary being. Why not? Like, there's no rhyme, there's no reason. He just starts doing it.
So in many ways, it's really just running with what the words or passage spark in your brain, even if it seems completely unrelated.
Yep. It just shows up.
And that's how by doing it that interpretively, that with that kind of wander, that's what prevents the same things from happening over and over again. You're not, so when my prompt comes up where I say, I grew up as a slave in an orc band, I endured unspeakable things, that even when that comes up again in the future, it'll have a different outcome, and each outcome is a new bullet point that I put on my sheet,
which then expands the journal just a little bit more.
What's the biggest Crescendo sheet you've seen so far? What's the biggest list of bullet points?
So you actually have a journal.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, like, a notebook. I mean, I've had I mean, this is my current one for one of my campaigns. It's not that big, but it's almost full. I'm gonna have to get another one. I've seen people fill up entire like good sized notebooks just writing things in.
And so in cases like that, when it comes to hitting the books, it's just the page flip method, random finger, normal bibliomancy sort of thing.
Yep. And you just It gets interesting because you would think that the game would get more chaotic, but it doesn't. It gets less chaotic as you go on, but not in a nice, not in a boring way. It starts to feel almost fatalistic because there's stuff where you're like, oh man, I hit that bullet point again. The one where, I accidentally dropped my wife off the cliff. I hit it again. Oh no. I didn't want to ever land on that ever again. And now
What
it's like,
now? This seems to me that you have rules and guidelines that pop up in your head. So, like in context, you were just saying, "Oh, I hit that bullet point about accidental fatality on a loved one."
oops.
So, rather than is it an accidental fatality of a loved one every single time, or what do you do with that? Do you have rules of thumb that you follow when you're doing interpretations and extrapolations?
Um, I find that because everybody is referencing, randomly, even if a bullet point is brought up again, you almost never see it alone. Like you almost never see the exact same situation again where everyone's brought up the same bullet points. Usually,
Hmm.
almost always someone's brought in something different, and because of your previous connection to that bullet point from the previous thing, which you're like, I remember you. I remember this one. We're gonna have fun this time around because everybody it's weird. Like this is something that I didn't do on purpose. So this is not like me like sitting around and like, oh no, I found this out by accident. This was totally not planned. Um, I found that because certain bullet points got certain amounts of emotional um they had certain amounts of like player history, it changed how everyone expected them to be read, because people would look at you and they go, I remember what happened the last time we hit this, and you're like, yeah, I remember it too. You want to go back there again? They're like, no, and you're like, that's too bad. We're gonna so like there's this odd really really cool like social evolution thing going on, because people will land on things and sometimes patterns will emerge and everyone's looking at each other and like, okay, and they're looking at the weaver like, what are you gonna do? What are
Mhm.
you up to? What are you gonna do with this? um so it gets later in the game, it gets almost fatalistic, almost, because you've been pushing the same, like it's a linear narrative. So every time you write it down, it's related to something in the past.
Mhm.
So to it starts to funnel, and suddenly you find yourself like very organically repeating certain themes and certain things where you're like, why is our game all of a sudden about child killing? Why is this the fourth time we've done this? And everyone looks at each other and they go, I don't know. Or in one particular game, we kept having, in one particular game, we accidentally invented an entire race of creatures.
Hmm.
Just accidentally. And then they just started showing up because we kept landing on it. And so they would show back up, and then they'd keep like spreading throughout the story, and we weren't trying to go after them. Like they just kept showing up. We were like,
You had
okay,
no
well,
idea they were going to be there in the first place. You had no idea they would become as prominent as they are.
and they were, boy, were they. And we got to the point where at the end of that campaign, that particular campaign had always sort of centered around one of the NPCs. Um, it was a one-on-one game, and one of the NPCs was the guy's true love, who had gone and married somebody else, and the whole game just kept coming back to her. and it kept coming back, and it kept coming back, and we're kind of going, we're not really intending this. She just keeps showing up, you know, like it's reasonable, like you know, because you keep hitting it, and then the more you hit it, the more it shows up, and the more it shows up, the more it shows up, and all of a sudden it just starts rolling into this clusterfuck, where like you can't get away from that character, you can't get away from it anymore, because it's
a lot of it then necessarily hinges on your ability as a weaver to adapt it when it comes up into, yes, it's the same thing recurring, but it's a novel situation. And like you said, it's always everybody contributes a prompt into the mix. So it's never exactly the same situation, even when something similar pops up again.
Not only that, but there's nothing against you saying, I have no idea. I have no idea. What are y'all's ideas? I can't think of anything. I don't have a clue.
When you hit spots like that, do you default to players, or do you have a mechanism where it's like, find another prompt or something like that?
There isn't guidance in the book for it, mostly because it's so astoundingly rare. It's so rare. It's so rare because there's no like. Okay, answering that really quick. One Weaver or GM, I do not recommend going above 3 players.
Got it.
I do not
have you
recommend.
attempted that and failed, or is that just an instinct?
So this is more of a burning wheel holdover. Inside, so the thing is that bye-bye. The thing is that, and by the way, I do want to eventually ask, can you bring up the double or triple up? I don't know what he's asking about on that one. Can you clarify that one more? I'd love to. I'd love to actually answer the question, but I don't understand it. I'm sorry. So a lot of the time, this game gets so social that like you get to a place where you're like, I have no idea, but like you've gotten so into the weeds with everybody by that point that you just, I mean, whenever I run the game, I just shrug and I go, hey, what do you think? Someone spouts off their idea. I go to someone else, hey, what do you think? And they spout out, and then I just work with that. You know, I just start putting things back together. Because there's sometimes you're like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell? I don't know what to do with that. But there's so much. It's such a social game that by the time you get into those kinds of weeds, it's fine. You know, it's a very, very high trust sort of a situation.
And the nature of the game, you develop a working relationship with that specific player because everything is a back and forth creative input.
Oh yeah. So I mean, it's not excuse me. It's not like we go on a bullet point again, does it get bigger? Is that what you mean? Excuse me.
That makes sense. So like
it kind of depends. So I put in mechanic. Okay, so down there somewhere, don't know where, Moritz had asked how I did it. This is gonna come back to his question about the bullet points. The simple answer was that I ran the holy shit out of this game. I played testing a lot of it. By the time I was started to think that like most of the game was developed at the table in response to people having trouble with rules I'd written. So I just go, let's just change it. Let's do this. Cool, let's go. Okay. And I did that a lot. Like, a lot. Like,
there was changing, editing on the fly, testing out different solutions and settling and letting what works best stick.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No, it was a lot of terrible ideas I had. Terrible, awful, absolutely terrible ideas I had were just sanded off in play. So one of those really terrible ideas, unfortunately, was an idea where you'd put a tally mark next to each bullet point. And then whenever you came back to it, it would do something different. The problem is that it was really, really difficult to run. It really got to be too much. It'd be like, oh, I have to do this. How many tally mark? I don't know. I don't care.
Right.
Care. I don't. I just don't care. So like, there's at some point for shits and giggles, I may release all 60 or 70 different drafts I wrote, and people can pour through them, and they can go, "Oh my dear God, I am so glad he didn't do any of this because it's terrible, so bad."
That's you know what? Save that stuff for later on. If
Right.
millions have been made, they've made all the normal documentaries. The Lifetime movie is come and gone. That's when we release your notes. That's
And
when
everybody goes, "Oh my God, what have you
and they'll
done?"
be like, "Whoa, he really was a mad genius."
Oh God,
Absolutely bonkers he
no.
was.
This, if that ever happens to me, and I doubt it will. Like, this is not me thinking it will, but if it ever does, on tape right here on the Goblin King Jack show, I'm saying no. Those are bad. You should not be referencing them. Don't do it. They're terrible.
It's
Oh
a
my
good
God,
thing the
don't do it.
internet is forever.
Yep, and I'm perfectly fine with it being forever. That's perfectly fine by me. I have no issue with that. Um, yeah, no, I mean, so like there was a lot of things that got cut. Earlier on, Movie John had pointed out the defy mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
which is I only developed that mechanic in the last 10% of playtesting. So for the people who don't know,
Describe.
Crescendo is a fiction first game. That
Mm-hmm.
means that we can just start talking. And when we talk, no, Moritz, shut that down. No,
That's going on the screen. That's going on the screen.
No, please.
You must
No,
accept it. You have to want
no,
it. That's when it will never happen.
no, I can't do it. I'm not that soulless. But like, so the problem that I ran into is that I wanted to replicate the feel of reading Gene Wolfe. I wanted to feel like I was reading him as I was playing the game.
Okay.
Gene Wolfe is a very hypnotic, very flow heavy sort of an author. You just sort of read, and then you realize it's like 15 pages later, and you don't remember where you were before you start. Where are you? What time is it? What's going on? Like, that's very much a Gene Wolfe sort of a thing.
Okay.
So very early on, I realized that it had to be a fiction first narration game. If I wanted to emulate the feel, that's what it had to be. It had to do that. This put dice in a very unfortunate position because I like dice. I have an entire box of dice thrown downstairs. Like, I've not an entire box. I've got like 4 boxes of dice thrown downstairs. Dice, I love dice.
You gotta have them.
Oh, absolutely. And at the time, there's someone you should reach out to. Robbie Howell, who does Enclave. Go find him.
Okay.
I think you'll like Robbie. He developed a diceless role-playing game called Enclave. And I read the game and I went, oh my gosh, this is essentially what I'm trying to do. But there's no dice. He had all of these ideas for how to make narration gameplay. To the point to where he and I have both said in private to each other that, Crescendo and Enclave are kind of sister games. There's kind of a weird connection between the two games that both of us are like, I can feel it, but I don't get it. Great guy. Very, 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 very. The game doesn't read like much until you play it. And you're like, why does this work? There's no dice. Why is this working? And if you do play it, let me know, because it does feel eerily like Crescendo.
Okay.
It kind of feels like it. There's kind of there's an odd kinship between the two games. I once had to use every six-sided die in the house. I approve. I approve. I just approve. No notes. No
Yeah.
notes. None. Anyway,
There was
so
back in the day in Dragon Magazine, they had an article about killer dungeon masters, and they had the one of the tools they introduced was the random damage table. Was don't think encounters or monsters. Just do away with those middlemen and deal out the damage to the characters directly. And one of the results, like when you rolled 100, it was roll every die within a 30-foot radius and take that much damage.
oh my dear Lord, that's amazing.
That was one of the old April Fool's issues back in the day.
Oh, but anyway, so the Defy mechanic, we're getting there. So I needed a fiction first game. I needed something that was narration heavy, which works great with hitting the books. But I wanted dice because one of the other inspirations for this game is the very recently concluded Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocchio, who, as it turns out, is something of a lover of Gene Wolfe and quotes Gene Wolfe rather extensively in his books, if you know where to find it.
Ah, okay.
And so one of the things that he did that I loved so much, I love so much about his stuff, he will build all of this pressure, all of this plot, all of this development, all of this, everything that character hopes and dreams for on one thing that may or may not work, and then it doesn't work. And it's a dice roll. Like, you're reading it and you're like, that he rolled a dice and it didn't work. Like, that's all it is. Like, that's lit. So I'm like, nope, dice have to be in the game. There has to be an ability for people to be invested. And then when they're invested, there has to be a chance that it doesn't work out for them. Mm-hmm. So dice have to be in the game in order for me to emulate Wolf and Rocchio. I have to have those things. I don't know how to do it though. And this is where Defy comes up. So you're narrating along. If you don't like what someone else says, you just pick up your dice and you defy them. You roll. You go, nope, I defy you. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
That's it. Like, it was such a simple like thing. It was such a simple answer, you know? And now I'm so stuffed up that I can barely breathe. I'm going to do something really gross on your stream.
Please do. I'm all for it.
Cool. This is a notebook paper. I don't have any tissue around, so let's do this. Oh, my dear God. Oh, what have I done?
I'm an experienced show host.
Oh, my dear God. Oh, that's disgusting.
I keep wet wipes right next to my desk where I work.
I'm literally wiping like on my face. It's so gross.
I've diseased you.
What have I done? But I can breathe now.
At least you can breathe.
Okay, so for another question that Moritz has, because Moritz has realized that I will talk until someone shuts me up. Thank you. I have seen games take as little as 50 to 55 minutes.
Okay.
For a single play, for a one-on-one, 55 minutes. It's not the Bible. Bring that up. Does that look like the Bible to you?
Like we discussed, it doesn't have to be completely true. It just has to be kind of related.
That's true. Oh no. I mean, my game's being leveraged against me. So for a single player, I've seen a 50-minute session. We were in a hurry. We weren't like, you know, yeah, John, that's my response. So we were in a hurry. We knew we didn't have a lot of time, but we had a good time and we had a good thing at 50 minutes, and then we're like, okay, cool, we're done. And that was it. We walked away sad, like we actually had a good time. It wasn't, oh, hurry. It's like, we could go further. Let's not.
Yeah,
You don't
let's
have to
just stop. Sometimes you reach a natural end.
Right. So I've seen Crescendo do that. In the live streams that I've put up on my channel,
Mhm.
um, 2.5 hours for 3 players. It doesn't. It doesn't. Then like this guy, I like him. DM scale models. That's brilliant. Um, that right there. So the so from 50 minutes to probably 2.5, maybe 3 hours of someone's like, maybe if you're really getting into the weeds, but you'd really have to do it. You'd have to go out of your way. Um, so no, I mean, so anyway, so you pick up the dice and you defy, and you just decide, no, I don't like the Weavers. I don't like what the Weaver is doing. I don't like what the other players are doing. I'm going to roll. The cost of rolling, however, is that you hit the books at the end of every die roll, regardless of whether it's successful or not.
Okay.
Which
Yes.
which starts a little bit of a snowball.
Yes. That's kind of what I recall. Now,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
and
does.
that was the thing. The hitting the books and
Yeah.
reading that's the stuff that really stood out for me from the play. The other mechanics were much more fuzzy after the fact. I
Yes.
do remember rolling dice and saying I defy or I want to change that. I
Yep.
want to oppose that.
Yep.
Give us a little more detail on how that actually works. How does that play out?
What
So
what are you looking for? I mean, yes, but what are you looking
go
for?
back to the beginning. Basic example. If you want to defy, you each bring up your die, and whoever rolls higher gets their way. How does
Gets
that
their way.
gets their
They
way?
get their way, you hit the books. So the way it works, you roll your dice, you figure out the results of the die roll. So you get your success or you get your failure. This is not I roll and win and then you get hit. It's roll, figure out what happened, take a minute to write it down. So whenever you defy, you automatically get a bullet point. You automatically get to write more into your journal about what you just did, and then you hit the books right afterward. So everybody gets to resolve what they were doing, and then something comes out of left field and hits them like a Mack truck. And then someone is probably going to look at that and go, no, no, I don't want that twist. I don't like what that did. I'm going to defy again. I've never played FAST, FACIS. I have
That
no idea what that is.
that is a game that never saw publication to my. It was something local
Oh,
to the
okay. Well,
Cleveland
that's why I don't
area
know it.
many years ago. A LARP
Okay.
system.
So, but the harder you push on it, the harder the game pushes back. And there are two types of players who come out of this. There are the players who don't like pushing. They just don't. They kind of sneak around. They sneak around the mechanics. They act like they don't dislike the mechanics. They
Right.
like the mechanics, so they sneak around them. So they're like, I don't really want to. I don't want to get hit by that right now. But at some point, I'm going to need to do that. So I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to take my licks and kind of, I'm just going to make nice. And then there's Jack.
Who? Me?
You.
Me? What I
Yes.
do?
Everything. But then you have people who are like, there's a big red button, and if I push it, everything blows up. And then once they realize what it does, it blows everything up all the time. And you're saying like, oh dear God, because it just keeps going and going, and because it's a story, and because you're going off of the previous stuff, it just naturally escalates. People just start escalating it, and before you know it, a dark god has shown up into your game, and he's trying to steal your best friend, who you didn't know that the dark god was interested in him, but that guy brought up the bullet point on your best friend. This other guy brought up the one, hi patties, and the other guy brought up like this whole thing about the dark god kidnapping people, and the Weaver just took the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I do. I do vaguely recall things getting quite dramatic there, and someone getting dragged. drug off the hell might be a strong word, but
No, it wasn't. Demons actually came out at the end of your session.
oh
We
yeah,
ended it on a
didn't they?
cliffhanger of a demon coming out. You guys being like,
I
"Oh,
had nothing to do with that. That was not me at all. I
actually, it
was
wasn't." That's
calm.
actually true. I think, if I remember correctly, it was
Yeah.
fantastic. So, like, the game just snowballs. It doesn't work the way that I've seen other games in this genre work. Because a lot of the time, you're just like, even in other story games where you're like, oh, well, we're off to tell a story. Someone is always having to push to escalate. This game does not need pushing. You just play the game, and before you know it, the skies have opened and there's an alien invasion, and everyone's going, "There's aliens?"
How often have you had a session jump the shark on you? You can't tell me that doesn't happen with this kind of open-ended storytelling. How many
Where it gets to
shark
be
jumps
too
have we
much,
seen?
where it gets to be too much, where it openly gets to be too much, right? That's what jumping the where it
Yes,
just like,
yeah. Pardon me. That's that Fonzie
no, I mean, like,
reference
yeah,
from back when I was a young man. Yeah, yeah.
we're
But
we're, 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 we're like a chain. It doesn't happen as much as you think. I've not seen it personally,
okay.
but there's a reason for it. And the reason is that because the game is belief centered,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is always sticking to they're rewarded for playing to their beliefs. They get their fate points, and they can, kind of, they can massage the game to their liking. So the game is so responsive socially that a lot of those situations just kind of get swept under the rug. You're like, or someone defies, and they go, no, I don't feel like dealing with that. um there's a couple of like there's been a couple of times where we've gotten close to jumping the shark,
Mm-hmm.
and it just hasn't happened because everybody always just looks back to their own beliefs and go, well, I'm rewarded for acting on these.
Right. Right.
So in the face of this is just what I'm going to do, and it gets right back to the characters. Um, you love Crescendo, Patty. So
Oh
it's a
yes. Yeah, that's a great comment. Yeah, Patty, Crescendo would be an excellent candidate for boldly rolling. And again, I don't know what Sunday afternoons look like, but Patty's out west himself, and
I can run him a session. That's fine.
yeah, I would highly
I'll,
recommend
I'll
it.
run him a
It's a
demo.
very interesting and different experience.
I mean, it's this is where I'm just terrible at pitching my own thing, because everyone's probably listening is going, well, I still don't even know basic facts, and I've been talking for an hour and a half. But
It's part of your charm.
I have charm. That's wonderful.
You do have charm.
I get to have charm. That's great.
You have
I'm
charm.
okay with it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I almost knocked my cup over. That could have been bad. It's all this
Yeah,
electronic.
just don't put your hand on the snot page.
Okay.
Okay. I go, no, it's safe. It's out of the way. I stuck it to the wall over here.
Kids come up, Dad, you said not to do that. I'm on a
Well,
phone call.
you know, we all have exceptions. When you're my age, you can make those kind of judgment calls.
Not at your age, though. Yeah, so, I mean, it's a very character-driven, it is both very grounded in how players act and what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and it is also completely apeshit bonkers.
It seems like, yes, I felt that
That's a pretty good way to describe it.
it's freedom. It is liberating to play that way because, and again, it's the exact antithetical opposite of, I've heard so many gamers, DMs say that limited play style, that when a situation pops up, the first thing they do is go to the character sheet. What can I pull off my character sheet that is going to solve this problem? This does not work that way. You put yourself in the situation, you imagine the scene, you imagine the character, and you then act accordingly.
Yep. And you're rewarded for doing so. Fate points are very powerful. You didn't get to see that, but like
I know I didn't.
fate.
Probably a good thing. Who knows what damage I would have done?
Fate points can do some really, 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 really fucked up stuff. So the basic mechanic is you get fate points for acting upon your beliefs, or acting against your beliefs, or hurting other player characters. There is an open thing in, like, it's literally called PvP. I do not hide the lead. It's not hide at all. Like, PvP is openly encouraged. And actually really violent PvP is encouraged, because you are only given as many fate points as the lowest level of condition you inflict on someone. So if you give someone a level 1 condition, which sucks, but it's whatever, and then later on you give them a level 4, you only get 1 fate point.
Oh. Why is that? Why? So does that not encourage me to just give them the 4 right up front? Okay. All right. Yep. Good. How high does that number go? What can I do to people? 5, 6, 7, 8? Does the number just go up? Go up?
At whatever the lowest is.
All right.
It's kind of got that. I kind of went with the OD&D thing where it's like 6 HP is the normal human. So a level 6 condition would take you out.
Okay.
Like it's 1 to 6.
That makes sense to me.
Huh?
That does make sense to me. Is just a general. You need an arbitrary max number.
Yeah.
5 isn't quite enough. 10 is kind of too many, right?
Yeah, way too many. So so the game then gives you these fate points, which you can then spend to either refuse conditions, or you can go, no, I'm not taking that. You don't have to defy. You just go, nope, I don't want it.
Okay. And so fate introduces a mechanism where you don't have to risk anything. You just go spend that meta currency and go, nah.
Sort of. So inside of this example, let's say you get punched in the face you get a level 1 bruise.
Okay.
Level 1 facial bruise. Okay, cool.
My eye!
Right. My eye. You can go, I'm going to give you a fate point. I don't want it. I don't want that. However, you then have to hit the books. You spent the fate. Any amount of, if you spend the fate, you spend that 1 fate. Okay, you have to hit the books. But if you spend double, whatever it is, you don't hit the books. So you get hit in the face. My eye.
If I have 2.
If you have 2, you'd be like, nope.
Nothing at all. But if I got 1 point, we say, all right, no, but we hit the books. Which, right. So there will be some consequences.
Right. However, what this does, and then on top of it, when you're rolling a defy, you can use fate points to buy off the margin of failure or success.
Okay.
Because inside of a defy, the bigger the margin is, success or failure, that tells the Weaver how big that particular plot twist is. So you can go, no, I do not, I beat this by 10. I know that a god's coming. Literally, I'm about to bring the apocalypse down because I beat this whole thing by 10. Here's 10 fate. I don't want that.
Oh, so you as and that's not just you as the Weaver. You don't just hand out 10 fate. If another player has 10 fate and doesn't want you to do that, they can go, here's 10 fate. No.
Oh, I should do that. No, that's not currently in the rules. That's not currently in the rules. It's actually not a bad idea. Where anybody can be like, nope, I don't want that. Just take the meta currency and and drop it. So at that point, defying is more powerful because you can actually rewrite the fiction. You can actually go, no, I dodged. You didn't even hit me. Because the fate just says, you hit me, but it doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Defy says, no, you didn't hit me at all. So you actually rewrite what happens into the game. You get multiple bullet points to write in at some points. Like, you get more power with a defy, but it's riskier. It's a lot riskier. Also, sometimes you don't have enough fate, and you have to defy anyway.
You've got to defy or take it on the chin.
Right, exactly. And
Nope.
I've seen people do that.
Wanted to point out while we're here, your YouTube channel, Spyder's Webbing, and also I dropped the link in for the Ash Can edition of Crescendo.
That's the quick start one, but I do want people going there.
Right. Go there and check that stuff out.
Yes, fate carries over, Moritz. Fate carries over between sessions, and it doesn't bloat. It doesn't bloat because you will run into situations. So, like an example, one of my players actually did run into a god. Like, a god showed up inside of the game and went, "I want your best friend." Like, that's an actual thing that happened. Whenever you meet supernatural entities inside of Crescendo, it deals you conditions just for seeing them. There's kind of a strong, Old Testament horror vibe going on there. Okay. So just whenever you just meeting the god is enough. It's enough to take you out almost immediately. Yes, I'll get to that in a minute, Patty. Put a pin in that one. So she got face to face with this dark god who wanted her character's best friend, which should have dealt her character a level 4 condition, which would have taken her out. She spent 8 fate immediately.
Wow.
She had 12 fate sitting around. She went, "No, not only do I not get the condition, but I don't even have to hit the books afterwards." And all of a sudden, the fate bloat is gone. All of a sudden, they're back down to 4, and they're kind of looking at you, and you're like, wait a minute.
What if this happens next round?
Yeah, that's exactly what the problem became. Because it's like, okay, I did it this time, but now what do I do next time? Because I only have so much. So, there's just all of these odd pieces that I kind of figured that out as I played, and it was like, okay, how do we put these pieces in so that way people can tell this story? Because I play Axe, for instance. I've got Axe back on the shelf. Excuse me again. Sorry.
I can tell you look like kind of developed across the arms and shoulders. That book does that for you.
Oh yeah. And Alexander Macris is genuinely lovely human being. I've had the fortune of talking to him a couple of times, and I always walk away feeling better for the experience. I got a really, really good story out of playing Axe.
Mm-hmm.
Players go into dungeon, players get their asses kicked, characters die. Next guys go in, try it again. They almost die. They come out, but they come out with a bunch of loot. Now they're hiring people. Now they're bringing people back. A story develops from that. And so the idea that RPGs aren't about stories, I think, is kind of a silly thing. Crescendo is about story, but you play. Mm-hmm. And so there's a game in there, and you're programming your journal. You're figuring out what kind of chaos you can cause to get your fate points, because actually inside of the book it says how much chaos you cause. It's not did you act on your belief, it's how much trouble did you really make with that. Really? Did you actually inconvenience everybody? Did you inconvenience your other players? Congratulations, you get rewarded for doing that. And so there were just all of these really, really fun ways to do that. And it's like, okay, so I want to put in this bit about the serpent. I want to put in, people start programming things, and they sort of have there's this odd, intuitive game that builds up. And people get comfortable, and they figure out how they want to do this particular story and this particular character. Cal, who is in 2 games right now, and Eberron 1, because it's Eberron. See, it did come back.
It came back.
it came back the very next day. And he's also in my long running Crescendo game, Dragon's Fire. He plays two completely different people. He's having a blast. He's programming completely different journals. He's going about just having a completely different play experience. And it is
very well. I can
wild.
see even where if you could play literally the same starting character and have things be completely different within a session or two.
I've got yours with Dunder Moose, and then I've got one with the Rereading Wolf podcast. With one of the guys from the Rereading Wolf podcast and his daughter on mine. And then I've got two that never got recorded, but that's because they were private, because I actually ran one for Mythic Mountain.
Yes, yeah.
You didn't get to see him play
No.
Sir Mal. Oh, dude. That was dark. That was so dark. Like, he leaned into the nihilistic trait. Like, I mean, we got Game of Thrones level of stuff going on with that. It got dark.
It's a nice day for a red wedding.
Yeah, it got close. So the big thing to finally go around back to Patty's parlor, who I don't know where it is on the screen. The big thing is that the game is done. Mechanically, the game's done. I can't. I mean, you polish things, you kind of whatever,
Yeah.
The game is done. The big thing is that I'm a terrible writer. I'll admit it.
Okay.
I have no problems with that.
Brave man to admit that in public. Well,
I'm a terrible writer. I just am. I'm a terrible writer when it comes to writing rule books.
Yeah, it is a very particular skill. It's you need certain parts of narrative and prose, that sort of writing, fiction writing, but you also need to be highly technical and detailed and specific.
Have you heard anything I've done so far that qualifies me as that kind of individual, Jack?
I plead the fifth.
There it is. There it is. Yep, there it is.
Fifth the Jack!
Yeah, right. So the ash can is not for the game mechanics, and we're getting to that actually, DMG. It's for the text. I've gone through 2 rounds of edits. 2.0 is now up on DriveThruRPG. It is a much clearer text. I want people to go and pick it up. I am going to whenever the text is airtight. I'm terrible at that though, Patty. I'm awful at it. For rule books, I'm bad at it. It's just so anyway. So we had 2 rounds. One of my friends, Christopher, if you saw you were on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
He printed off the entirety of 1.0 Ashcan. He printed off the whole thing. I thought he was a madman. That was 258 pages. And he just went, I'm going to start editing. Like, you are?
Nice.
And he took an axe to it. I mean, it was brutal. He went after the text hard. I just sat down, read through all his suggestions, and I just did them. I didn't even argue. I was just like, oh, there we go. He only got about halfway through the text. I'd gotten kind of the taste of what he was doing, though. I cut the text down from 258 pages to 120 in 3 weeks. Brevity
is the soul of wit.
Oh, I wouldn't say that because I had another 30 pages back in later, but we'll get to that.
But it's still 150, which is way better than 258.
Oh my God, yeah. So like, oh, you found it. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yep, that one. Run that. Just run it. If Moritz, if you have any questions, I'm on Twitter. You can reach out to me.
On Discord, I know Mo from Discord too. So hit me up, Mo. I can put you in contact with them and get you.
Yeah, absolutely. Please. There's something that Moritz said earlier that I wanted to address. It's a good addition to my Sandbox Godbound campaign. Bring that one up because I actually have a very interesting point to make, and this is where I'm going with the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is very much, this particular comment is a very, very, very telling thing on what I'm doing with Crescendo. And thank you very much, Moritz, for the subscription. I really appreciate it. If you're talking to me, although I hope you're subscribed to Jack already.
You better be. I will be betrayed, and I do not deal with traitors lightly.
You're about to meow like a kitten. You're a goblin, dude. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So this game is meant to be played. I'm going to play this game in conjunction with other games. So, for instance, my Dragon's Fire campaign, which if you go on there, there's only one episode of it up there. Unfortunately, we just keep having all sorts of real world stuff pop up. I'm actually researching and developing some stuff to start playing an Axe game in the same setting. And with the way that Crescendo works, you can do that.
I was actually noodling the notion that the prompt, the hitting the books and stuff could be bolted on to just about any base system. Like
it could.
Said earlier, I was envisioning playing D&D and then using these as narrative elements.
We're about to hit the "You must dream bigger, darling." I'm talking bigger. Crescendo is so narratively focused that you could import a couple of rules from a couple of other games, and it's going to feel kind of like that other game enough to where it feels like it's in the same world. So you can do it. I've done it in playtests and other things, and that's something that I want to develop as I go. So this isn't meant to be so like the idea that I had in my head when I first started this. In every game I've ever played, like a D&D game, right? Big party game, 6-7 people, right? I haven't played one for a very long time, but I remember those games, and they're a lot of fun, and I really like them.
Yeah.
There's always 2 or 3 people who want to do just a little bit more narrative, and they always want to play something of a little bit more depth. And what I have noticed is that those 3 people invariably destroy the whole game for everybody else.
Yeah.
Because their tastes just start to diverge. They just do. And there's no safe outlet for them because, hey, Axe people, plug your ears for what I'm about to say because I don't want to hear it. Axe doesn't do everything.
Right. Yeah, it does do everything.
It does.
I've heard similar criticisms from other people. It's like, oh, Axe is great. It doesn't do everything, but it is great. Like,
no, Axe
I still have to do my own laundry, work my job, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly, it doesn't.
Now, if the books worked my job for me, that would be a worthy investment.
Right. So, not every game can do everything. And so one of the things that I'm going to start focusing on is Crescendo is kind of meant for those people to be able to just kind of play in the same world and kind of get a little bit more into whatever the more mythic psychological stuff that those specific 2 or 3 people want that nobody else is doing. That then lets them keep having fun with their friends on the weekends. It's only like an hour and a half for most sessions, really. Yeah. Maybe 2 hours. It's really doable. And so you can have your big party game. I'm not trying to compete. If you're looking at this and if you're going, well, what's the angle here? There isn't one.
Nice. Hey,
there just isn't.
But that really does make a lot of that makes perfect sense to me because I can see where its flexibility really can handle a large amount of players. Because I know you were saying, yeah, you think it tops out at 3. I could see this working for, larger groups. It definitely becomes difficult because I think I would do something more like, only 3 people's prompts. So like if you do it, the only people who hit the books are the people involved in the defy action.
Right. You'd have to figure out ways that I haven't even begun to think about on doing that, and that's fair. But
now, I do have to interrupt because we're coming in on that. We got about 5 minutes left, and you haven't talked about using 1-to-1 time in the game yet.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
5 minutes? How am I going to talk about this in 5 minutes? This is another 2 hours. I see that look on your face.
Okay, so for anybody who wants to get in contact with me, you can go to the Discord. You can take a look at it. I'm developing the first setting book for Crescendo. I'm using my home setting, my place.
Got it.
And that place is doing 1-to-1 time. So every day I sit down and I come up with a prompt. Everybody gets to write what they do in response to that prompt. They vet it by me and then they place it. And so we're starting to do this 1-to-1 time thing with Crescendo. And so far, only one of the 4 players. Yeah, there's 4 players in this game. Don't at me. I know no more than 3, but I like Mythic Mountain and you all just have to deal. So far, what I think will happen. So I'm trying this, right? So what I think will happen is it's going to make this interesting, it's going to make for actually a more Gene Wolfe sort of a feel where there's stuff going on in the background and you know about it. And then you hit these points where people's beliefs are tested and they have this moment where they don't have to worry about the plot because the plot's going on very slowly, piecemeal, day by day. I don't know how it's going to go yet, because so far only one of the 4 players has ever participated. Which to me says something. So I don't know what that means yet, but I'm paying attention. So
just remember though, what it's saying might be it's the holidays. Give us a minute.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? How could you say that? Hopefully that's all it is.
No, I do hope that comes in, and I can see. I've been doing a lot more play-by-post myself through Discord, and once you get into the groove, I can see where doing a daily prompt reply, then you do a continuation of whatever it is, do a daily thing like that. I could see that developing into a really excellent play-by-post game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you have these big spike moments where everybody's beliefs come to a head, and you kind of, it's a very, it's something that I'm trying to get figured out, and I'm really excited to try it out. I'm really having a great time with it. This is a very unique game. I kind of cobbled it together by accident and just by throwing things at the wall until it stuck. And then when it stuck, the only amount of brains I can really credit myself with is saying that I knew when it stuck. Okay, that works. Keep that. Keep going. Things will present. Yes, I really hope so. Thank you.
We like the positive attitude. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. What last questions you got for me, Jack?
The last thing, I do have one last question to wrap up with. It may seem out of left field, do you happen to like the song Bark at the Moon?
Oh my God, that's been way too long since I've heard that song. I don't remember it.
The old Ozzy song, Bark at the Moon?
It's been a long time since I've heard it.
Did you used to like it back in the day?
Yeah. But it's been a while. I can't rattle it off at you right now.
I suspect you might have the wolf gene. And the punk king already left. I'm gonna clip this and send it to him tomorrow.
Way to make me just sign off in disgust, Jack. That was well done. I hate you, but
good. That's the first time I've left a stream with utter hate. So I think that we can end on a high note. It's like I don't know how I'm going to top this later, Nathan. It's like I'm going to have to shed blood on stream.
Not with me.
No, not with you. Not with you.
Okay, just say.
Yeah. I'll find somebody I legitimately don't like. Or, or I know has plenty of blood and really won't suffer from the experience.
We're getting into medieval. We're getting in medieval medicine now.
Yeah. Leeches.
Leeches. Time to leech them.
Where can people find you?
Well, I've got Twitter. I post somewhat regularly. I check my DMs there. Mm-hmm. There's a Discord. If you DM me on there on Twitter and go, hey, I want to join in the Discord. Join in the Discord. Sure, cool. I'm on Drive-Thru RPG. I really recommend going and trying the Quick Start first. I know the ash can's $5. Just go try the game.
Yeah.
See if you like it.
Nothing that'll hurt. And again, the Quick Start will give you a good indication. Like if you like what you see in the Quick Start, then take a chance on the ash can edition.
And then I'm going to do the thing that Alchemic Raker told me to do, which was that you don't make a new update for the full game. I'm just going to go update the ash can. So when the game is done, if it's $5, it's $5
now. Anyone who has already bought it is going to get the updated version automatically.
All the time. And that's not going to, that's not, I have no wish to fleece this for all it's worth. This is a really different kind of thing, and I want people to enjoy it. So if you get in now, later on when I go, hey, this is the full thing.
You missed out on so much, Nemo. I can't even begin to recap everything for you. And you know what? You should have Spyder on your show.
I will talk to pretty much anybody. Pretty much.
He will. He's talking to me. He spent 2 hours on air with a goblin. Go figure this guy. All right. It is time, though, before your wife comes over and yells at me.
Yeah, I do hear children screaming.
Oh, well, if they're not screaming dad, then you're off the hook for now.
That's not how that works. You know that's not how that works.
But just like the prompts, it doesn't really have to be completely true.
Because it gets you off the hook. I know where
exactly. I'm spending 2 feet to just reject that. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Spyder. Glad to have you. This has been Spyder of Crescendo Games. I am Jack, the #1 goblin in this time slot. And join us next Monday.
Ta-ta.
All right. Good night, folks.